Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing an astrologer of great note from New York in America, Jane Fairchild. Jane has been an astrologer since the age of 12, I think, Jane. And
13, but who's
13.
counting?
I was more than a bit skeptical about astrology until I met Jane. But Jane did my astrological birth chart. And my wife listened to that meeting. And my wife said at the end of the reading, that Jane knew me better than she did after 25 years together. And Jane, you kind of showed me that it's not so much the star sign you're born under, but basically where the moon is in your chart the day you were born. So perhaps you could tell us a bit about what it is you do and how you became an astrologer.
Oh, well, thank you. And I love being here, and I love UrVeda. Well, for centuries, people have been attracted and fascinated by the gaze of the moon. All of humanity there's been myths and dreams and legends about the moon. And so as a young person, 13, I started dabbling in astrology, and I couldn't get over that. All right, your sun sign, everybody who's born in April is an Aries, and you, my friend, are a Leo. And so that was the introduction into astrology. But then I started digging and seeing that, wait a minute, this so-called day of birth and time of birth and place of birth was a snapshot in time. And it told the story of you, your path, your bumps in the road. And I set out to disprove astrology because I couldn't believe there was such a thing that existed. And it's been years, of course. And I can't disprove it because time and time again, the strangers that become friends that come into my life for a reading, they're complete strangers. And I'm only getting their first name. And I'm looking at that snapshot of the heavens. And so the sun and moon together is really what we walk into a room with. So for instance, John, you are a Leo, magnanimous, panache, zest for life. But you have a Capricorn moon, which the moon was traveling through the constellation of Capricorn when you were born. And that grounds you. That takes that Leo pizzazz, wanting to be an actor on stage, and says, oh no, we're heading off to the back room. I'd really rather not be front and center. And so there's this push-pull. And then you introduce the rest of the planets in what's called the birth chart. And you're off to the races, just with so much beautiful information about, and I celebrate a person's life. It's not about doom and gloom and look out, the sky is going to fall.
Absolutely, Jane. And one thing that fascinated me when I was doing the reading with you was not only can you kind of tell me about my personality and, where my strengths are and what pitfalls might be ahead of me and all the rest, but you were able to get into depth about my relationship with my partner, with my wife, and you could tell if we were compatible or not. So you can actually tell people based on the day they were born, the time they were born, where they were born, whether they're compatible or not, and whether the relationship is going to work out or not. Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. Basically, the birth chart is, are you interwoven? Or are you like sandpaper? Or are you kind of in between? Is there a chance, but yet you might have to work at it? And the moon, the compatibility of your moon to my moon, to her moon, to his moon, is what makes the world go round, because the moon is our emotions. And so that's the first thing I look at for compatibility. Where are the moons? Because that's either the joy or it's the rub. And so I started seeing, couples coming to me and friends. I started out with friends and relatives and putting charts together, and I could see there was either magic and music and beautiful music that they were making, or they were in disregard for each other, oil and water, as they say. And so I started to really see, as I was sitting with couples, when I would get done with usually an hour plus reading long, I saw that on their faces and what they would say to me. They said, "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I now understand that my partner can't help themselves. They are living out who they need to be." And yes, I guess I can celebrate that because they're not working against me. They're just being who they are. And it's fun. It's just fun. I have people to this day that will call me even for just 10 minutes and say, "Hey, I'm dating someone. Could you help me out? What do you think? Are we compatible?" And I'll give them the God's honest truth. And I have yet to have anyone tell me, no, and you're wrong. You're just dead wrong. So I keep rolling along with it, John, because it works for whatever reason. And I'm a student of it, and I'm going for it. And I love it.
Brilliant. Now, Jane, you're running a mastermind every Monday on UrVeda called Moonshine.
Yes.
What will people learn when they attend your mastermind every week?
Well, we're all subject to cycles in life, and the planets, they don't affect us, but we are in concert with the energies that happen. The phases of the moon, especially, are very strong. Think of it this way. If the moon can cause the change in tides, can it cause a little bit of a change in how we're acting, reacting, our personalities? It's a flavor. It's like the cherry on top of that sundae is essentially what astrology will do for you. It gives you a leg up on, because there's a time for everything under heaven. And you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away, and when to run. And that's an old Kenny Rogers song that I'm quoting. I'm, showing my age, but yeah. So in the class, I walk people through their greatness, and it's always based on their birth charts. Whoever attends, I will hope to know ahead of time. And even if not, I can quickly look them up in a matter of 45 seconds. And we take a look. We go a little deep into, so what pattern, trend, or theme are you, my friend, a part of right now? And as I tell people, I'm the subject matter expert on astrology, but I'm very keen to say you are the subject matter expert on you. And that's what we collaborate on. I can only tell you about what it looks like, feels like, talks like, walks like. And then you fill in the rest and go, aha, yes, well, tomorrow you're telling me it's the auspices of the planets and the cycles are in my favor, like 150%. I'm going on a job interview. And I'll say, well, remember, I said it was affecting your 10th house of careers before I even knew you were going on a job interview. So it's things like that. It's, hand into glove, where the magic happens. So, yeah.
Brilliant, Jane. Well, we are delighted to have you as our resident astrologer on UrVeda, and we look forward to Moonshine every Monday on the platform.